Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Rocket Media. Today I'm in Bangalore with Prem Sai. He's founder of Vecros, one of India's most exciting deep tech startups building future of autonomous drones. And in the world where everyone is talking about AI inside the screens, they are building AI which moves in the real world. And hi Prem, I was looking into your journey. You are graduated from IIT Delhi and you were in aero modeling clubs there. So, to begin with the conversation, before going into drones and your FC, I want to know about your journey a bit, how everything started. It started as a college project or a research project?
So yeah, so as you know, like famously, IIT Delhi doesn't have any aerospace department.
Okay,
So I was trying my luck at different clubs. Like I was part of iGEM, which is bio engineering bacteria club, and I was part of robotics club. So that was not all exciting, but once I saw a small kid flying a RC plane at one of our tech fests. And then I thought like, how do you make this kind of things, and is there a club for it or something? So then there used to be a prof called Professor Rao. He proposed that Boeing is coming up with a national aero modeling competition. It will be good if I Delhi host that. But again, the question was there is no aerospace department or nobody who knows how RC planes work and all. So that's when like we thought like students we sat. There was one IIT Kanpur senior who started a startup to teach how to make this. It was a tech startup, how to make robotics or aeroplanes or anything. So we took his help and we started Aero Club. So that's how in my second year we started into like kind of building drones or like kind of RC planes on our own. It was very from scratch we were building, like we were using styrofoam, we were using balsa wood. We were just making small planes. We hand launch it and we used to learn aerodynamics and everything. So we figured that this is very exciting part. Once assembly and everything was very painful part, but flying was very exciting. And then there used to be a lot of crashes. So and most of the time, like we spent most of the time analyzing crash videos. Like you can say, why is this drone even crashing? Why is this RC plane crashing? Is it part of mechanical failure, electrical failure? And we learned that in aerospace, even one small thing can cause devastating crash. Because famous saying is like flying is not important, landing is very much important,
right.
right? The whole conversation was like, okay, drone to ud to liya, but how do you make it land? So that was the most fun part. Like started getting into electronics, started getting into mechanical stuff, and I found that autopilots are where you make drones fly very stably. Like most of the time pilot udata tha, and there were a lot of mistakes because perception gap tha. So like pilot was not sitting on the drone and
Mm-hmm.
seeing what's happening, so he doesn't know exactly how to control. But यहाँ से हम अंदाज़ा लगाते थे कि like यहाँ से हाँ ओके ये प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है, इसका करेक्शन यहाँ से दे देते हैं, वो करते हैं. So I got into electronics, basically putting software on the drone. Like can how software can make drones fly was very exciting for me. Like I am from engineering physics background. I am very much into hardware. Used to study electromagnetic interference, optics, quantum mechanics, classical mechanics, lot of hardcore stuff I used to learn. Software was not the thing that I was very much interested in. But once I got into this field where I saw like I wrote some code and then drone is executing it, or like the code is actually making the drone fly, it was very exciting. It was very fun. Like just for fun I used to change some parameters and see drone behavior change.
Right.
So so it was very fun activity, and like I was just going through the college, and even starting a drone company was not my like kind of future plan.
Wow. So
um,
it's really great. Like, you kept your engineer alive and you were doing what people think that IITians must be doing in college.
yeah. Yeah.
So it's really great.
Yeah.
So, like, how did you landed on Vecros? Like, ki research project tha, theek hai.
Hmm.
But like, it should turn into a company. You incubated at IIT Delhi. So
Hmm.
how did that happen?
So what happened was I was doing summer projects, and in 18 we have to sit through placements, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was already interning at a couple of startups, and I saw some startups in incubator as well who are working on this drones, underwater drones, and some biology products and everything. I used to talk to them, get the vibe of startups. It almost felt like a club only. So I thought like, okay, it's so fun. Like you're going to do what is fun for you. At the same time, you can sell it and make money. So बेच भी सकते हो और फिर पैसे भी बना सकते हो उसमें से. So it it sounded fun, and then I had to take placements. Yes, obviously, and one of the good thing happened was IIT Delhi में they started deferred placement policy. So so as part of deferred placement policy, you can let go of placements for 1 year, and you can come
Right.
back if nothing happens.
Yeah, it started in our college too.
Yeah. So every IIT started it. So fortunately, at my time they started it, and I got confidence that I can skip placements and I can work on something meaningful. And if nothing works, I can come back anyway. So that gave me some confidence to skip the placements. And fortunately, again, I really announced a grant from MHRD to support who are doing startups. So out of like around 30-40 people who applied, like 5 people were selected, and I was one of them. So I got into this, and at first my proposal was to make autonomous VTOL drones for
Okay.
delivery. Like again, that was also a very big software problem. How you make drone take off like this and then fly like a plane, take off like a multicopter and fly like a plane.
Right.
And it was more exciting part for me. The autopilot was more exciting part for me.
And I think you need hybrid plane kind of for that, like
Yes.
multi-rotor se fly karega, and it need to have wings,
Yes.
right?
Yes. So how do you make a system understand to take off like this and then fly like this? Was very difficult problem. I proposed that, I got the grant, and I was 1 year researching on it. So whenever I used to go to, so my problem was I made the drone and I have to always take this drone from my lab to my ground to fly it, because the entire autonomous part was dependent on GPS. So I talked to the prof that like every day I have to schedule only morning and evening, because flight then only the winds were favorable. In the afternoon the winds were not favorable to fly, and if something happens, I used to drone will fly away and I need to go and make another drone. I have very limited budget for it. So can I fly indoors anywhere? Can you teach me how to fly a drone indoor, like how the autonomy stack will work in indoors? He said like, no, there is no such technology that helps you fly without any GPS. So that got me curious, and I saw some companies in US which are doing it. It was very preliminary stage. They were doing it, and there was no like kind of need for doing without any GPS, because its assumption is GPS तो available रहेगा कहीं पे भी.
Right.
That was the assumption, core assumption. And nobody used to question that कि ये GPS spam हो सकता है या spoof हो सकता है, कुछ भी है. So that's when I shifted my focus from making a drone to asking this fundamental question: how can a drone fly without any GPS?
And 7 years back,
7 years back.
okay, I think GPS denied technology and all these talks have started very recently.
Yeah.
So you are thinking about this that 7 years
7 years back.
Okay, right. Please
So-
go on.
So it was very niche tech, niche in the sense niche of niche, like only when you are in buildings you don't get GPS properly, and you need to need this tech there only. There was no assumption that कि GPS spoof हो सकता है, spam हो सकता है, jam हो सकता है. So all those were very assumptions, not battlefield realities, which are now. But back then it was very difficult to convince even a VC or even the incubator to convince that this is the tech that is going to be future, was very difficult, because myself didn't think that it's spamming or jamming हो सकता है. So but nevertheless I pushed forward. So 1-2 years I spent after IIT in IIT facilities only, with the help of grant and with Professor Shubhendu Bhasin, who helped me with his lab setup. He was the first who had something called motion capture system, which we use for Hollywood graphics. उसको हमने लेकर repurpose कर दिया to make a drone fly. Basically the concept is we fix cameras over the room. Cameras are watching the drone how it's flying, और इसको feedback दे रहा है कि like आप कितना सेंटीमीटर से मीटर्स मूव किया. उसका लॉजिक यूज करके we wrote a software that makes it fly drones. and that was my aha moment. It gave me a kick. It's like I don't think like a play 1 crore का placement भी आ गया तो I wouldn't have got that kick. You know, it's like that feeling I can't express really, but if I have spent 2 years to make it this work, like almost everybody I talked to said it's impossible to do it, like this ये fail हो सकता है, वो fail हो सकता है. Nevertheless, I didn't take into that consideration. I just pushed forward. When I got that kick, that's when I knew that like this is what I need to do, and that's how Vecros kind of thing came into existence.
Right.
It's like I had plans to maybe move to US, do some research and do some PhD, get a good job there. But when I got that kick, I was like, why can't we do it? Like I have done lot of signals to noise ratio, you know, like lot of people said like इसको इतना पैसा लगेगा, करोड़ों लग जाएंगे सेटअप करने के लिए. But somehow I got help needed by just asking for it. So I thought like why not you do this tech in India. So we started वो जो concept है cameras को बाहर रख के फिर drone को observe करना. My concept was we can't put cameras everywhere on the world, so why can't we put it on the drone itself and start making it observe the world and fly without any GPS. So that's how after COVID drone Vecros started. So how it started was in 2020 during the COVID we convinced the incubator that we are putting AI on the drone. We are using the cameras to watch the world. So one of the customers, very big manufacturing plant customers, they said like they signed an MOU with us that eventually your drone is flying near metal objects, it can fly without any GPS. So I want you to fly around my factory to tell me what has changed over the months. Like let's say month 1 I have took a footage, month 2 I have took another footage. From month 1 to month 2 what has changed, can you tell me? Because I can't install CCTV cameras everywhere. So we signed an MOU and I showed to investor that that I have a client as well for this technology. So they were clueless about technology. They didn't knew that this is going to be a big thing. But they saw like this guy has bought a customer, somebody is willing to pay for it. So it's enough signal to fund. So Vecros started out in 2020. We incubated in IIT Delhi. After like around 2-3 rejections from incubator itself, that we finally got incubated and we got funding in 2021. So Vecros started officially then with just 2 people.
I think that is a very big problem. I think still that is like people are very clueless about technology.
Yeah.
So that's why we are going to break down things simply for the layman understanding, so that people get an idea about how these things work and why this is so important. So before moving into what Vecros is building, I want to understand the problem more. Like why this GPS night navigation is very critical now, and what is fundamentally broken about this drone ecosystem and this technology. So if you could explain me like ki why this is very important, that problem, GPS night problem.
So fundamentally drones you see today are staying like a rock in the sky. They are not moving.
Right.
But it's not natural. It's basically drone is doing 100 calculations per second to determine where it is moving. बस हमको आँखें में दिखता नहीं है, बट ड्रोन माइक्रो मूवमेंट्स कर रहे हैं हवा में कि लाइक ऊपर नीचे हो रहा है, साइड में हो रहा है, टू जस्ट मेक श्योर दैट वो ड्रोन वहीं पे स्टेबल हमको दिखे. इट्स लाइक मूवी ओनली. लाइक मूवी में हम इमेजेस 24 फ्रेम्स पर सेकंड फ्लैश करते हैं जस्ट टू गेट फीलिंग कि लाइक वो मूवी है, कुछ मूव हो रहा है करके, बट इवेंचुअली वो इमेजेस ही मूव हो रहा है.
राइट.
सो सिमिलरली अभी ड्रोन को वहाँ पे रहने के लिए उसको एक एंकर पॉइंट या रेफरेंस पॉइंट चाहिए होता है. लाइक वो देखता है कि यूजुअली GPS अवेलेबल होता है, वो ऑलमोस्ट 10 सैटेलाइट्स को ट्रैक करता है अबव 30,000 फीट की. लाइक मैं सैटेलाइट नंबर 1, सैटेलाइट नंबर 2, सैटेलाइट नंबर 3, 4, 5, 10 से कितना दूर में हूँ, और उसको ट्रायंगुलराइजेशन करके एक प्रोसीजर होता है, एक मैथमेटिकल फार्मूला है, उसको यूज़ करके वो डिटरमिन करता है कि मैं यहाँ पे हूँ. एंड वो इसलिए इम्पॉर्टेंट है कि कभी हवा आ जाता है, कभी पायलट चेंज करता है, या कभी कुछ भी अनसर्टेनिटी है, ड्रोन हिल जाता है हवा से. सो उसको मैंने कितना मूव किया आगे, इवन इन माइक्रो सेकेंड्स और लाइक काइंड ऑफ माइक्रोमीटर्स, GPS सैटेलाइट्स कैन डिटेक्ट इट एंड टेल. एंड उसकी वजह से ड्रोन वो टेक्नोलॉजी यूज़ करता है, GPS यूज़ करता है टू जस्ट स्टे इन ऑन द ग्राउंड ऑन द एयर, ताकि हमको कंफर्टेबल फुटेज मिले. सो दिस इज द बेसिक्स बेसिकली. लाइक वी यूज GPS टू फ्लाई अ ड्रोन.
Right.
So and it is open source, like GPS is available everywhere.
Right.
You can just put an antenna and take GPS signal. Now the main problem is जो signal आता है GPS से, it's very weak in the sense like let's somehow like imagine कि you are 100 meters away and you're trying to listen a person shouting from 100 meters away, but only problem is he is not shouting, he is gossiping. And your ears need to listen to that signal out of all the traffic that is there on the road. So now isme it's very, you need to carefully design the stack to listen to the signals and take calculations. Agar for suppose somebody is gossiping the same thing more nearer to you, you'll start listening to them instead of listening to the actual satellite.
Right.
जिसको बोलते हैं GPS spoofing basically. Like fake signal एक भेज दिया, GPS सिग्नल इतना वीक है कि लाइक दूसरे सिग्नल कुछ भी थोड़ा सा भी स्ट्रेंथ में भेज दोगे, वो ये मानने लग जाएगा ड्रोन की लाइक मुझे इस GPS से आ रहा है. सो अभी जब ऐसा फेक कर सकते हो, मान लो कि हमारा ड्रोन इंडिया में उड़ रहा है, बट उसको ऐसा फेक सिग्नल भेज सकता है कि वो पाकिस्तान में उड़ रहा है. क्योंकि वो देख नहीं रहा है ना कि मैं कहाँ उड़ रहा हूँ, वो तो बस ऊपर सैटेलाइट को सुन रहा है. बस मैं सैटेलाइट का एक फेक सिग्नल भेज रहा हूँ जिससे वो उसको फ़र्क नहीं पड़ेगा, वो फाइनली वो सिग्नल एनालिसिस ही कर रहा है. उसको लगेगा मैं पाकिस्तान में उड़ रहा हूँ, अभी मुझे इंडिया में जाना है करके वो वापस पाकिस्तान में चला जा सकता है.
गलत जगह ऑपरेशन परफॉर्म कर सकता है.
गलत जगह कर सकता है. ऐसा ईरान ने किया विथ US. ईरान ने अराउंड $150 मिलियन ड्रोन को हैक किया विथ जस्ट सिंपल GPS स्पूफिंग, और उसको लैंड भी किया सक्सेसफुली ईरान के टेरिटरी में, और उसको रिवर्स इंजीनियर करके खुद ड्रोन्स बना लिया आज. एंड ये एक्चुअल हुआ है इंसिडेंट GPS स्पूफिंग का. एंड वो एक ड्रोन के साथ हुआ उस टाइम, तो उन लोगों ने इतना केयर नहीं किया, बट अभी सारे ड्रोन्स जो भी लॉन्च हो जाते हैं उसके साथ ये GPS स्पूफिंग और जैमिंग हो जाता है. एंड दिस इज फंडामेंटली बिकॉज GPS एज अ सिग्नल इज वेरी वीक.
ओके.
सो जो जितना ऊपर उड़ेंगे उतना स्ट्रॉन्ग सिग्नल मिलेगा, बट हमको ऑपरेशंस तो ऑन ग्राउंड करना है.
स्पूफिंग इज easy, not very hard.
Not
And
very
talking
hard.
about jamming, मतलब spoofing is one thing and second thing is jamming.
Yeah.
So we mostly think क्योंकि drone उड़ रहा है तो ठीक है GPS works, but
Yeah.
what if suddenly jam होता है and then GPS stops working?
Yes.
उस केस में क्या होता है, and आप थोड़ा इसमें भी बता सकते हो difference between jamming and spoofing.
Yeah. So jamming में ये होता है कि you cut off the signal directly.
Okay.
So you send so big signal कि like वो हल्का सा सिग्नल जो आ रहा है वो कभी पहुंचेगा नहीं आपके पास.
Okay.
तो जब ड्रोन ऐसा उड़ रहा है और फिर सडनली आपका कट ऑफ हो जाता है सिग्नल, जब वो ड्रिफ्ट तो हो रहा है बट उसको सिग्नल करेक्शन तो नहीं मिल रहा है, तो ऐसे ही ड्रिफ्ट होते होते क्रैश हो जाएगा.
Okay.
सो ऐसा जैमिंग में यही फर्क होता है कि ड्रोन कैन बी क्रैश्ड कंप्लीटली. स्पूफिंग में ऐसा होता है कि यू कैन इंटेलिजेंटली नेविगेट द ड्रोन फ्रॉम वन लोकेशन टू अनदर लोकेशन बाय यूजिंग स्पूफिंग. ये एक्चुअली रशिया ने यूरोपियन कॉन्टिनेंट पे किया. कॉन्टिनेंट पे ऐसा किया कि वो एक सैटेलाइट ही लॉन्च कर दिया ऊपर, जो स्पूफिंग सिग्नल सैटेलाइट से ही भेज देगा. तो वो ऊपर से स्पूफिंग सिग्नल भेज रहे हैं सारे ड्रोन्स को कि लाइक आप यूरोप में नहीं उड़ रहे हो, रशिया में उड़ रहे हो, तो जाके आप यूरोपियन टारगेट्स को ही अटैक कर दो करेगी.
यार मतलब द वे इलेक्ट्रॉनिक वॉरफेयर इज चेंजिंग, लाइक यू नो कि आई जस्ट डोंट अंडरस्टैंड कि talking about the current scenario, like you know how things are moving with jamming, spoofing, and like you know kitna easy है करना, and you have given me certain examples. So that's why I think GPS night tech is very important. So if you can elaborate on this.
So basically whole proposition of drone is like एक मिसाइल को $1 million लगते हैं लॉन्च करने में, ड्रोन को $10,000 लगते हैं. हाँ. Which is 1/10 और 1/100th ऑफ कॉस्ट कटिंग. बट एक जैमर को जस्ट $1,000 लगते हैं एक ड्रोन को टेक आउट करने के लिए. एक जैमर कैन टेक आउट 1,000 ड्रोन्स डायरेक्टली, नो नीड ऑफ एनी हाई-फाई टेक्नोलॉजी. नाउ ड्रोन्स हैज प्रॉमिस्ड अस द वर्ल्ड कि लाइक अभी मैं मिसाइल का बहुत अच्छा रिप्लेसमेंट हूँ, बट उसका भी एक एक्यूलीज हील है जो GPS जैमिंग या ये स्पूफिंग टेक्नोलॉजी है.
राइट.
नाउ द वे वी कैन प्रिवेंट इट इज़ making drone understand, like if you go back to previous worlds, like हमारे पास drones थे जो natural drones है, pigeons, जिनको हम train करते थे to send even mails. लेटर्स लिख के हम बेचते थे, एक किंगडम टू किंगडम वो दे यूज टू कम्युनिकेट विथ पिजन्स, जो कि फास्टेस्ट ट्रैवल था. एंड वी टुक इंस्पिरेशन फ्रॉम देयर कि लाइक हाउ डू पिजन्स नो टू नेविगेट. वी हैव सीन साइबेरियन बर्ड्स जो रशिया से इंडिया आते हैं, माइग्रेट करते हैं. दे डोंट हैव एनी जीपीएस सिग्नल, उनके ऊपर ऐसा लाइक कुछ एंटीना नहीं है जो ट्रैक कर रहा है और उनको बता रहा है कि आप साइबेरिया में हो या इंडिया में हो. जैसे ही वो उसको वो टाइम या सीज़न आ जाता है, सन साइकिल आ जाता है, या उस विंड करेंट्स को ट्रैक करके वो बर्ड्स इतना इंटेलिजेंट है कि वो पता है कि वो अभी है उनको माइग्रेट करना चाहिए साइबेरिया से इंडिया को. नाउ आई स्टडीड देम बेसिकली लाइक हाउ birds which are not so intelligent than us are able to like kind of navigate the world. कुछ birds ऐसा भी है जो circumvent भी करते हैं पूरा अर्थ को, कि they travel through equator.
बट ये इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक फील्ड की वजह से करते हैं या क्यों करते हैं एग्जैक्टली?
बहुत सारे सिग्नल्स होते हैं. वन ऑफ देम इज ऑब्वियसली विजुअल सिग्नल, कि लाइक वो एक्चुअली रिमेंबर करते हैं प्लेसेस कहाँ पे उड़ रहे हैं. दे आर लुकिंग डाउन एंड दे आर रजिस्टरिंग देम. उनका मेमोरी में रहता है कि लाइक they just need to follow a track of certain visual markers. Like for suppose if for example human see, अगर if you tell me to navigate to Bangalore and मैं एक बार 2-3 बार अगर मैं बैंगलोर आ गया, मेरे को पता है कि एयरपोर्ट के बाद ही हेब्बल आता है, हेब्बल के बाद ही HSR आता है. बट इफ़ यू फर्स्ट आस्क मी लाइक HSR कहाँ पे आता है, एयरपोर्ट के पहले या उसके बाद, तो पहले मैं बता नहीं सकता. बट अगर मैं 2-3 बार विजिट कर लिया, मेरे को याद रहता है कि लाइक ये लैंडमार्क है, HSR इज़ अ लैंडमार्क, एयरपोर्ट इज़ अ लैंडमार्क, हेब्बल इज़ अ लैंडमार्क. तो ऐसे लैंडमार्क्स ट्रेन हो जाते हैं एक इंटेलिजेंस सिस्टम को. एक विजुअल पोजिशनिंग सिस्टम बोलते हैं इसको. लाइक बेसिकली हम लैंडमार्क्स को याद रख रहे हैं. हम ये नहीं बोल रहे कि हम एग्जैक्टली इतने मीटर्स मूव किया, बट हमको लैंडमार्क्स तो याद है कि हम यहाँ पे एयरपोर्ट के आ गए तो वी आर इन बैंगलोर,
राइट.
वी आर हेब्बल आ गए तो वी आर स्टार्टिंग टू बैंगलोर.
So the whole idea was to like give that brain to machine.
Yes.
That visual memory, that vision
Yes.
models to a machine. So that was the whole idea.
That was the whole idea. So like
okay.
when you send a GPS spoofing signal, we want to put a camera on a drone that actually already drones have cameras. We want to make sure that drone is understanding कि ये जो सिग्नल आ रहा है वो करेक्ट है कि नहीं. वो नीचे लैंडमार्क को देख के इट इज़ डिटरमाइनिंग. So instead of just blindly relying on GPS, we have binded GPS with camera signals, like where it is flying, how it is flying, and determine entirely based on the camera signal only.
Right. So we'll go deep into this, but prior to this, I want to know what kind of defense applications you are seeing, and apart from defense applications, civil applications क्या है? So prior to that, if you can talk to me about that.
Okay. So हमारा thesis ये है कि if we make a drone intelligent enough, you don't need to like kind of put so many resources in training somebody to fly a drone. Like आज आर्मी के पास या डिफेंस के पास इतना बड़ा, वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट प्रॉब्लम इज वी आर मेकिंग सो मेनी ड्रोन्स. एक ड्रोन को उड़ाने के लिए एक पायलट की ज़रूरत होती है, एंड वी आर नॉट मेकिंग मेनी पायलट्स. वी हैव वर्क फोर्स येस, बट उनको ट्रेन करने में बहुत टाइम लग जाता है. मिनिमम टाइम यू नीड टू स्पेंड इज एटलीस्ट 2 weeks एक पायलट को अपब्रिंग करने में टू मेक ए ड्रोन फ्लाई. एंड आपका ड्रोन इंटेलिजेंस इज डिपेंडेंट ऑन योर पायलट इंटेलिजेंस.
ओके.
आप कितना स्किलफुली ड्रोन उड़ा सकते हो इज़ कम्प्लीटली डिपेंडेंट ऑन हाउ स्किलफुल द पायलट इज़. कितना सिमुलेटर आवर्स हुआ, कितना स्टैक्स को समझ सकते हैं. अभी ड्रोन चलाना इज़ नॉट लाइक हमने एक बार ट्रेनिंग ले लिया हाउ टू राइड ए बाईसाइकिल और हाउ टू राइड ए मोटरसाइकिल और हाउ टू राइड ए कार. उसमें टेक्निकल नॉलेज चाहिए होता है कि लाइक हाउ ड्रोन एरोडायनेमिक्स को रेस्पॉन्ड कैसे करता है, और फिर मैंने सिग्नल यहाँ पे दिया तो उसका डिले कितना है, जैम हुआ तो कैसे करना है. तो ऐसा टेक्निकल नॉलेज भी लेना होता है, जिसकी वजह से ये जो ट्रेनिंग टाइम है उसको हम स्क्वीज़ नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, जिसकी वजह से हमको बॉटलनेक्स आ रहे हैं. कि लाइक फॉर सपोज टुमारो एक एनिमी कंट्री है और दे हैव कैपेबिलिटी टू लॉन्च ऑटोनोमस ड्रोन्स, जिसको एक पायलट अगर 1000 ड्रोन्स को कंट्रोल करने का ऑटोनमी आ गया उस कंट्री के पास, और हमारे पास हम स्टिल वी आर लाइक एक पायलट वर्सेस एक ड्रोन, तो 1000 ड्रोन्स के लिए 1000 पायलट्स की ज़रूरत पड़ी है. एंड हमारा बॉर्डर इतना बड़ा है कि लाइक बाकी एनिमी कंट्री के पास इतना एडवांटेज रहेगा कि दे आर लॉन्चिंग सो मेनी ड्रोन्स. हम यहाँ पे फॉर सपोज लेट्स से एक पायलट को इंजरी हो गया या कुछ हो गया, वो उड़ा नहीं सकते ड्रोन को. उसको रिप्लेसमेंट एक पर्सन को ही भेजना होगा. एंड ये सारे बॉटलनेक्स है जो
राइट. इवन आई थिंक एक ड्रोन को फ्लाई करने के लिए 3 लोग लगते हैं,
3 लोग
एज यू वर
लगते हैं.
सेइंग.
या
एंड इतना वर्कफोर्स इसमें डालना है, जबकि यू कैन मेक अनमैन्ड एरियल व्हीकल्स, दैट इज
यस
फ्यूचर. सो डू
यस
यू थिंक फ्यूचर इज फुल्ली ऑटोनोमस?
Yeah, I think so. Like future is, I won't say fully autonomous. It is, you can say like हमारा mostly role रहेगा to make strategy,
ओके.
but machines will be able to execute the mission
Okay.
perfectly on the ground.
Hmm.
कि we can divide this into autonomy levels. Like right now we are in autonomy level 3. Vecros is at autonomy level 4. There are few like आप फिंगर्स में काउंट कर सकते हैं ऐसे कंपनीज जो ओवर द वर्ल्ड ऑटोनॉमी 4 पे हैं. हार्डली आई मीन आई कैन से 2 डिजिट नंबर, दैट्स ऑल.
ओके.
एंड ऑटोनॉमी लेवल 5 इज़ वेयर यू हैव कंप्लीटली इंडिपेंडेंट सिस्टम्स जो अपने आप थिंक कर सकते हैं, एग्जीक्यूट कर सकते हैं, और उनको बस एक ऑपरेटिव देना होता है. एक हर एक मिलिट्री का एक ऑपरेट डॉक होता है और वो डॉक्यूमेंट में क्लियरली दिया होता है मिशन का ऑब्जेक्टिव्स क्या है. अब मैं बस वो डॉक्यूमेंट जो ह्यूमन को, जवान को दे रहा हूँ, वो सीधा मैं मशीन को दे सकता हूँ और वो एग्जीक्यूट कर देगा.
राइट.
सो दैट इज़ द ऑटोनॉमी लेवल वी आर लुकिंग एट. एंड हॉनेस्टली इफ़ यू आस्क मी लाइक इसका एप्लीकेशंस क्या हो सकते हैं, करेंटली आई कैन सी इसकी ऑपरेशनल इंटेलिजेंस या डेटा गैदरिंग इज़ वेरी मच इम्पॉर्टेंट, जो कि per square feet right now it costs around 2000 rupees per acre. It costs around 2000 rupees to collect data using a drone with pilot and everything. ये fundamental cost है जो established है. With autonomous stack it will go to 10 rupees per acre. So it significant decrease in cost.
200x हो गया क्या?
200x हो गया basically. Like primary cost is because of pilot, battery and उसको you don't have charging networks itself. Like ड्रोन्स का ज़रूरत होता है बॉर्डर्स में, एग्रीकल्चरल फील्ड्स में, बड़े बड़े एरियाज में जहाँ पे ड्रोन को मास डिप्लॉय करके यूज़ कर सकते हो. आपको चार्जिंग पॉइंट ढूंढने में ही टाइम लग जाता है टू चार्ज ए ड्रोन. सो इफ़ यू हैव ए सिस्टम लाइक ए डॉकिंग स्टेशन और समथिंग जिसको आप डिप्लॉय करके छोड़ सकते हो, जिस सेल्फ सफिशिएंट, वो सोलर पैनल से चार्ज हो रहा है या जनरेटर से चार्ज हो रहा है, बैटरीज को रेडी करके रखा है, ड्रोन को भी शील्ड कर रहा है, इट इज़ ओपनिंग अप, क्लोजिंग, इट इज़ क्लीनिंग द ड्रोन, मेंटेनिंग इट. जब चाहिए तब आप बस एक बटन प्रेस करो, ड्रोन लॉन्च हो रहा है और कर रहा है. सो दैट इज़ वेयर आवर लाइक काइंड ऑफ ऑटोनॉमी लेवल कम्स इन, वेयर ऑटोनॉमी लेवल 5 इज़ नॉट जस्ट अबाउट ड्रोन्स या उसका स्टैक, इट्स अबाउट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर. लाइक अभी हमारा ईवीज़ के लिए इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इज़ वेरी बिग इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग टू प्रोलिफरेट द टेक्नोलॉजी.
राइट.
सो ऐसा ऑटोनमस, कंप्लीट ऑटोनमस ऑपरेशंस अचीव करने के लिए वी नीड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर ऑफ दिस डॉकिंग स्टेशंस, जो कि हम एनविजन करते हैं कि हर एक सिटी को ज़रूरत पड़ेगी एटलीस्ट 100 ऑफ दिस डॉकिंग स्टेशंस.
So you're talking about cities as you're discussing कि defense applications are there.
Yeah.
But you're talking about cities. So going
Yes.
into the civil applications.
Yes.
So what are the civil applications for Vecros? कि cities में क्या need है?
So now the biggest application is drone as a first responder or drone for crowd monitoring. Like for suppose in Bangalore I can give you incident. New Year and Christmas are very big, highly celebrated festivals. बहुत crowd gathering होता है, which right now Bangalore police is already using drones. Around 23-25 spots पे they fly manually drones को, और WhatsApp पे status आता है कि like यहाँ पे more than 100 people are gathering.
Is this happening in Bangalore?
It's happening in Bangalore.
Okay.
So it's already happening in Bangalore. They are using non-autonomous drones. They are making traffic police fly a drone. They are getting training and they are flying them. And major bottleneck for them is batteries and availability of police. Imagine a trained pilot is there and some health incident happened, they are not available. So the whole zone will not be covered in the central system. So पूरा ड्रोन फीड सारे एक सेंट्रल सिस्टम में, डिस्ट्रिक्ट कमिश्नर इज टेकिंग डिसीजन, क्राउड को कैसे डाइवर्ट करना है इस जगह से दूसरे जगह पे. तो ये सब ऑपरेशंस अभी बहुत मैन्युअली हो रहा है. एंड आई एनविजन के लिए कि रूफ टॉप्स में हमारा डॉकिंग स्टेशंस होंगे, वो जाएगा जब चाहिए तब वो क्राउड को कवर कर देगा और वापस आ जाएगा. तो सिमिलर टू हाउ CCTV नेटवर्क वर्क्स, इसमें यू डोंट नीड एनी ट्रेनिंग, यू जस्ट नीड टू प्रेस ए बटन, ड्रोन टेक्स ऑफ, डज द जॉब एंड कम्स बैक.
Yeah, sounds very futuristic and sci-fi.
So it's already happening in West.
Right. So I think I got like a good idea about the problem, and now talking about solution and how Vecros is solving these problems, how you are looking at things. So please explain to me in very simple terms, like what are your core products and how you are going to solve these problems with them.
Okay. So fundamentally, I'll start with our main product, Autopilot, Jetcore or Jetcore FC.
Okay.
So as I told you, like we are putting intelligence or AI on the drone. So first question was, every drone manufacturer made a drone around GPS. And how do you make a drone around non-GPS tech was a fundamental question.
Right.
The fundamental thing we needed to address was flight computer itself. So currently a drone computer costs you around 30,000 rupees with 1 GB RAM and just kilobytes of memory. You can actually buy a laptop for that cost. 30,000 rupees में 16 GB RAM, at least 128 GB memory and full screen के साथ एक मोबाइल फ़ोन आ जाता है आपके पास. But that is not the case for drones. So इतना महंगा computer with very less capabilities is what we have addressed first. So we have made a system within a cost of around 50,000 rupees, which can take 16 GB RAM and 1 terabyte memory and 21 trillion operations per second processing power. So this is basically putting a mini AI computer on the drone.
And this is completely indigenous.
It is completely indigenous, and we are the only company to make after like 2-3 years of R&D. And initially I got offers to make this same computer for around 70 to 80 lakh rupees, and that to 1 year time. For a company which makes these boards next every day for a US company, Indian company which works for US firms, they quoted us this much. But then again, our team was like very constrained on cash, and also we didn't think that this is a price we need to pay for making a board where physics is same. चाहे वो US client है, India client है, physics should be same for anyone. So our team got into action. We thought we can make this at very low cost. Over 1 year time, we have just spent around 5 to 6 lakhs to make a board. Once we made it, if you buy this board commercially outside from a US company which has spent this money to sell you, they are selling it around 1 lakh rupees. And we make a board at 10,000 rupees in India. Almost 10x cost reduction, and we sell it at 30,000 rupees, which is the market price. And
that is very creative engineering.
Yeah. So like that is the main fundamental as well. Like one of the major problem was we were supposed to import these boards from Germany, and those were for civil applications. We also declared that we are going to use this for civil applications, not for defense applications.
Okay.
Yet they have took the money and they haven't sent the board because saying some restrictions on exporting technology. So that's got us into first primary reason was we wanted to just develop AI, put it on the drone and just fly it.
Right.
But when we went to like the problem is very simple. You can't flash iOS onto a Nokia phone. You need iPhone to flash an iOS system. You need that hardware to make that software work. So when we try to import or like kind of use this hardware, we got this bottleneck that other countries are not exporting. This was in 2021. No war, nothing was happening.
Right.
Still, there were export controls. And we thought this is fundamental technology we need to make. And we made Jetcore board. We are selling to other drone companies in India. Even foreign we have exported, like Korea and Japan we have exported. And they are very much awe of quality that we are able to provide.
Like, I have a very fundamental question, like why is onboard computing is so important? You are building Zcore for that. So why is it like, onboard computing is very important?
So there is a signal called like 10 cycles per second. Any computation or any decision that takes more than 10 cycles per second needs to be on board. Like GPS is not 10 cycles. GPS is like more than 10 cycles per second, so we can put it on satellites. But if it's 100 cycles per second, or sorry, GPS is less than 10 cycles per second, so we can put it on satellites, we can use it to run. But onboard में ऐसा होता है कि like as a first I told you, like when I am flying a drone, I am just making a perception. I'm not sitting on it and seeing क्या चल रहा है. So the delay of that signal can cause some issues and make the drone crash. So you need that intelligence on the drone only to understand the world it is flying and take decisions on its own without relying on pilot. Our फाइनल एम इज़ टू कम्प्लीटली रिमूव पायलट पे इतना सेकेंडरी चीज़ें नहीं चलना चाहिए कि लाइक ड्रोन क्या करेगा अभी, वो क्वेश्चन डाउट नहीं आना चाहिए ड्रोन
Right.
में.
So as you talked about navigation, drone seeing things itself, what does this mean technically? Is it working on computer vision? Spatial AI, you frequently talk about that. So
Yeah.
how everything works if we
Yes.
go into the technicalities and physics behind it.
Yeah. So, so we have large language models which are trained on our text, Reddit posts, and everything, which understand text. What we have done is we took images of the world we are flying,
Okay.
and we trained an AI network which can only understand images. Like for suppose if I ask you, इस रूम का डायमीटर या इस रूम का एरिया कितना हो सकता है, आप एक अंदाज़ा लगा सकते हो.
I can make a guess.
Yeah, so you can make like 100 square meter,
Right.
200 square meter. जो भी रियल एस्टेट में काम करते हैं उनको पता होता है कि लाइक 1 एकड़ को देखा तो हाँ ये एकड़ है, 10 एकड़ नहीं है, सब बता सकते हैं क्योंकि वो ट्रेंड है उसमें, उस डेटा पे. तो ऐसा हमने डेटा लिया, पूरा इमेजेस लिया और फिर हमने ट्रेन किया एआई को लाइक कैन यू टेल मी हाउ फार यू आर फ्लाइंग, लाइक कितना दूर आप उस ऑब्जेक्ट से फ्लाई कर रहे हो. एंड ये हमने ट्रेन करके एक एआई मॉडल बनाया है. वी आर कॉलिंग इट एज स्पेशियल एआई. स्पेशियल एआई मीन्स AI that can understand space.
Space, right.
So now with this AI technology, GPS भी वही बोलता है कि ड्रोन कितना दूर उड़ रहा है एक सैटेलाइट से. Instead of taking satellites, now this AI takes 10 cameras which are present on my drone. सारे पूरा 360 वर्ल्ड को कवर कर रहे हैं ड्रोन के कैमरास. एंड देन दे आर सीइंग लाइक मैं सो एंड सो चेयर से कितना दूर हूँ, सो एंड सो लैंड से कितना दूर हूँ. ऐसा पूरा एक अंदाज़ा बना रहा है कि लाइक मैं इस दुनिया में कितना ऊपर उड़ रहा हूँ और फिर कितना दूर उड़ रहा हूँ.
लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल कि ड्रोन इस कमरे में आता है.
हाँ.
सो फ्रॉम बिगिनिंग टू एंड हाउ दैट विल एनालाइज द एनवायरनमेंट एंड वो कैसे कैलकुलेशन करेगा, इफ यू कैन एक्सप्लेन मी और फंडामेंटल लेवल पे.
ओके. सो जैसे ही वो आ रहा है वो फोटोज खींचते जा रहा है. एक एक फोटो का वो अपना एक डेप्थ इमेज करके बनाता है. सो डेप्थ इमेज इज बेसिकली replica of your image but with the depth values.
Okay.
For suppose I took this photo यहाँ पे, I am telling how much you are away from me and how much that table is from me and how much that stool is from me. So ऐसा मैंने एक इमेज लिया, ऐसा दूसरा इमेज लिया, जैसे मैंने आगे गया दूसरा इमेज लिया, फिर इस इमेज से दूसरा इमेज में कितना ट्रांसलेशन होगा मेरा डेप्थ, और वो मैंने नेटवर्क को फीड कर रहा हूँ. वो नेटवर्क फिर वो डेप्थ वैल्यूज़ को लेगा एंड देन वो मोटर कमांड्स जनरेट करेगा, मुझे आगे जाना है कि नहीं जाना है, और फिर उस मोटर कमांड्स को हम सीधा मोटर्स को दे देंगे एंड देन इट स्टार्ट्स फ्लाइंग.
राइट. एंड लाइक तो मेरा क्वेश्चन था कि जैसे लेट्स से कि ड्रोन आया एंड वी आर सेइंग कि इसके पास जीपीएस नहीं है, कोई कनेक्टिविटी नहीं है.
या
राइट. सो हाउ इज इट ऑपरेटिंग, हाउ इज इट ऑपरेटिंग बाय इटसेल्फ, एनी क्लाउड और वो करता कैसे है, लाइक इफ देयर इज नो कनेक्टिविटी, so how it's supposed to store data and operate?
Yeah, no, connectivity is there. Initial connectivity through your controller or through your tab mobile phone है जिसमें you can communicate what you want. But जो operation for suppose let's say मैंने रूम में एंटर किया और मेरे पास सिग्नल कट है, तो बाकी ड्रोन्स कट ऑफ हो जाते हैं वहाँ पे, वो वापस आ जाता है या दे विल जस्ट लैंड देयर. बट हमारा ड्रोन वो कट ऑफ होने के बाद भी वो कंटिन्यू करेगा ऑपरेशन को.
Okay.
So the main thing I said like no radio controller connectivity is needed to operate the drone. So आपको ऑपरेट करने के लिए ज़रूरत नहीं है, बट आपको पहले प्रोग्राम करने के लिए टू कम्युनिकेट टू इट यू कैन यूज़ द कंट्रोलर. एंड एक और चीज़ हम बना रहे हैं अभी, आवर मोडेम्स विच यू कैन इंस्टॉल ऑन ड्रोन दैट मेक यू डायरेक्टली टॉक.
Okay.
So you can take a walkie-talkie, you can put it on a drone, and you can directly communicate to your drone through a walkie-talkie. So that's where the intelligence is needed.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
So I have one more fundamental question, ki is drone building the whole map of the environment in real time, or you can feed the maps into the drone. So ki if it's entering into the unknown environment, so how it still will navigate. So ये सब कैसे होता है?
साइंस इज़ वेरी सिंपल. लाइक पहले तो हम पूरा वर्ल्ड का एक मॉडल तो दे देते हैं, एक डाउनलोड दे देते हैं. बट वो बस रेफरेंस के लिए रखता है अपने पास मैप्स. लाइक फॉर सपोज हम गूगल मैप्स यूज़ करके नेविगेट तो करते हैं, कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि कुछ रोड साइंस या कुछ ट्रैफिक सिग्नल्स या गूगल मैप्स में भी दिखता नहीं है, बट हमारे इंटेलिजेंस यूज़ करते हैं कि लाइक हाँ मैप में तो ये दिखा रहा है, यहाँ पे रोड ब्लॉक्ड है, मे बी ऐसे जा सकता है. सो सेम इंटेलिजेंस वॉज कोडेड इन द ड्रोन. सो इट हैज़ इट्स बेस मॉडल. अगर आप अननोन एरिया पे चला गया बट इट स्टिल नोस कि लाइक रोड मतलब ऐसा पतला होता है और फिर वो ग्राउंडेड रहता है.
राइट.
ट्री मतलब ऐसा दिखता है और फिर चेयर मतलब ऐसा दिखता है. सो ऑल दोस ऑब्जेक्ट्स, रियल वर्ल्ड ऑब्जेक्ट्स आर ऑलरेडी कोडेड इनटू इट.
ओके.
सो अननोन एनवायरनमेंट मतलब इट वोंट बी अ सरप्राइज फॉर इट. इट वोंट बी लाइक कि कंप्लीटली नया चीज़ जो हमने देखा नहीं कभी लाइफ में, वो नहीं मिलेगा उसको.
बट लाइक यू नो कि I'm just curious, like let's say कि if you are talking about the military applications or border, वहाँ पे काफ़ी जंगल होते हैं, similar features के ही आसपास चीज़ें होती है. जैसे let's say कि there are rocks, there are trees. So how is it going to like won't it get lost? Like humans भी उसमें मतलब हो जाते हैं, तो वहाँ कैसे काम करेगा?
वहाँ पे जो मैप खुद बना रहे ड्रोन उसको रेफर करते जाएगा. तो वन ऑफ द इम्पॉर्टेंट डिस्टिंक्शन इज, हम तो जस्ट नॉर्मली जैसे जा रहे लैंडमार्क्स को देख के वी आर जस्ट गोइंग एंड ऑल.
राइट.
बट हमारा मेमोरी में याद रहता है कि हम किस डायरेक्शन पे आया. लाइक ड्रोन में एक स्पेशल चीज़ है, वी ऑल्सो ट्रैक सन एंड कंपस.
ओके.
सो वी सी सन, like if you know there is something called sun tracking, where depending on time of your
So how you are tracking the sun?
because we anyway have cameras on the drone.
Okay.
So when we are taking photos we get sun photos as well.
Okay.
So when we are making model, we are making ऊपर का भी एक मॉडल बना.
So there are multiple cameras on the drone?
Yes.
Okay.
There are around 10 cameras on the drone.
On a single drone?
On a single drone.
Okay.
So 2 facing down, 2 facing sideways, one for left side and one for right side, then 2 forward, 2 backward, and they all combine and stitch a
360 degree model. But like Prem, like talking about Indian borders and India में जो diversity है,
yeah,
you can see a snowfall, you can see rocks, you can see fog, and on different borders.
Yes.
So in that case, like if cameras are going to be covered with fog or snowfall and things like that, so do we have a solution for that too?
Yeah. So that's where our hardware engineering comes, and also it's completely data driven operation. So we have clocked more than 5,000 flight hours.
Okay.
We have took this so एक चीज़ तो ड्रोन बनाना और फिर उसका बोर्ड बनाना, सॉफ्टवेयर बनाना इज देयर, बट द इंटेलिजेंस ओनली बिकम्स बेटर विथ डेटा एंड वी नीड टू फ्लाई. इंडिया का एक ब्लेसिंग है कि वी हैव no other country in world has conditions like India does. There are places where we have desert, we have
-50 to +50.
-50 to +50.
Okay.
We have places where it rains, dense forest. Like एक चीज़ हमने observe किया था when we went to Western Ghats. वहाँ पे इतने बड़े trees है, like around 30-40 meters के trees है. When we fly a drone, it's not getting GPS. Trees ऐसा cover कर रहे हैं पूरा signal को कि वो GPS ही नहीं आ रहा है वहाँ पे. So ऐसा diverse landscape है हमारा. We are taking our drone to places to collect data, and also from the foggy conditions and जो camera पे blur आ सकते हैं सब. Our engineering is in the optics as well. Like drone का जो cameras का resolution, उसका megapixels, उसका image size, and we have made one lens with special coating that can make drone see even in cloudy areas and even in night. So mostly cameras तो हम sunlight में use कर सकते हैं.
Thermal sensing or something?
Yeah. IR radiation basically.
Okay.
It can see both color image and also IR image. So that helps it to navigate even in low light conditions. आप pitch dark में छोड़ सकते हो ड्रोन को, फिर भी वो देख लेगा कि वो बिल्डिंग है कि क्या है. So that adds extra capability to the drone.
So have you interacted with any armed forces or any kind of trials yet?
We have been engaged in a lot of trials with the army, especially post Operation Sindoor. It's a mandate now to have drones, and we already sold a couple of drones as well to Indian Army, and we are still learning from them how the product should behave, what are the user feedbacks from the Indian Jawans who are using them. So initial interaction with Indian Army was very rigid when we started, but now it's become very flexible. Now they are very much helpful for startups to use, and we are actively selling to defense. We are listed on defense portals as well. We are getting good love from defense forces for our flexibility, and reusability.
So, do you have any orders in your order book from defense or any kind of talks that are going on?
There are some talks for MOU, and we have, as I said, like we have sold around 2-3 drones right now, which are initial prototypes. Now we are planning for at least 100 of them going forward.
So I have one more question, like ki army working with defense, like NCNC trials are very famous. So
Yeah.
how does failures look like for a hardware company when drone crashes and you get those imports in, like in normal days too? So
Yeah.
how does failures and crashes looks like in a drone company?
Yeah. So one thing I learned from NCNC trials is, let's say you can promise the world defense, but it needs to work 100 times out of 100 times.
Right.
That's there for defense कि like आप चाहिए डोंट प्रॉमिस द वर्ल्ड, आप चाहिए कि एक ही फीचर आप प्रपोज करो डिफेंस को, बट वो फीचर 100 ट्रायल्स में 100 आउट ऑफ 100 टाइम्स काम करना चाहिए.
They need the best
दे
and
नीड द
perfect. Right.
रिलायबिलिटी पार्ट. बेस्ट आप लाइक आप बेस्ट टेक्नोलॉजी लाओ, बट अगर आप उसको ऐसे रिलायबल वे में पैकेज नहीं कर सकते हो, यू आर फेलिंग एट डिफेंस प्रोक्योरमेंट. तो हमने ये एक की चीज़ लर्न किया आफ्टर दिस ट्रायल्स की, लाइक हम बस एक ही क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं आर्मी जनरल के, लाइक आपने कितने ड्रोन्स को जैमिंग में लगा दिया और फिर कितने बार लगा दिया. सो इफ़ यू पुट 100 टाइम्स, 100 आउट ऑफ 100 टाइम्स आवर ड्रोन फ्लाइज. कुछ ड्रोन कंपनी से जो लाइक 10 times they show that it is flying without any GPS, 11th time they fail, 12th time they fail. So ये जो 100 अचीव करने के लिए we have to have tight control over entire hardware and software. So इसलिए हमने पूरा ड्रोन इन हाउस बनाया, पूरा बोर्ड्स इन हाउस बनाए, पूरा सॉफ्टवेयर इन हाउस बनाया कि वी नो एग्जैक्टली वेयर द फेलियर हैपन्स. मान लो कि मैं ड्रोन इंटीग्रेटर हूँ, मैं ये सब नहीं बना रहा हूँ, मैं बस सॉफ्टवेयर बना रहा हूँ. आई हैव टू कॉल द ड्रोन मैन्युफैक्चरर, आई हैव टू कन्विंस हिम कि लाइक आप ये स्पेक चेंज कर दो मेरे लिए. तो वो बोलेगा मेरे को कि आप मेरे को 100 का प्रॉमिस कर दो या 200 यूनिट्स प्रॉमिस कर दो. तो ऐसा bottlenecks आ जाता है. So I see most of the failures happen in NCNC because like initially this was my learning as well. Like when we don't have tight control over entire product, we obviously fail, and that is for good reason only, I guess.
So is it hard to work with the armed forces or?
Yeah. Yeah, the policy is like you are not initial capital तो आपको रखना पड़ेगा आपके साइड से, which is like for a person like who is a student who started out just after college, I am not blessed with a lot of money to participate in defense and sell, but I have the means to produce technology. So if you see the comparison, even like most of the fundamental technologies you are saying were built by our people. Indians have built it with help of US companies. What did US companies do? They just provided capital, time and patience to make them work.
Right.
So I think somehow from the policy level, this patience part and the capital part needs to be taken care.
Yeah, right. I think now we are seeing a change. So are you getting good support from the government on this, or any kind of support or any policy change you want? Okay, this should happen. So
no, there is definitely a support from government in changing a lot of policies. Right now, procurement policies were changed. A lot of permissions needed to procure a drone were now reduced based on the class of weight and everything. So it has become really easy now to work than before. And also, instead of just drone, how you, like I have met army generals and majors and captains who are well versed with the technology. Like they already know what is GPS denied, what is camera can do, where are its limitations and what exactly. So the language of it also changed. Somehow the internal training of it, like internal policy changes, is making them very well versed with the new technologies. This was not there before because I have to convince them before that.
Yeah, right.
This was the drone, this is what happens and everything.
So things are changing, but still, like if there is any one policy or something you still want to change about the system. So what should be changed that makes your job easier?
Yeah. So I think what I think is from the policy standpoint, if you for good or bad, there are a lot of incentives from the government. They are not reaching the right startups.
Okay.
Um, that is primarily dictated by how closer you are to the government or how near you are to the information source. Like more policies on educating startups or through Startup India on these policies. Like this is the policy you need to use. This is what you need to use to get your order through the defense. So वो वाला थोड़ा मेरे को लगता है कम्युनिकेशन गैप है बहुत.
Okay, so right startups are not reaching to the government,
Yeah.
and government is also not reaching to the right
Right
startups.
startups.
So
The problem is speed actually. Like startups work on speed.
yeah, they get support when they already did good enough work.
Yeah.
Like they should get that support earlier in their journey,
Yes.
so that could make things easier for a lot of people.
Like कुछ ऐसा सोचना है कि like drone government is very serious about taxpayers' money. In that seriousness, they are also creating hurdles for speed.
Right.
Like ऐसा होता है कि हमने बहुत ही ज़्यादा केयरफुल हो गए हैं कि like हम परफॉर्म करना ही बंद कर दें.
So do you find like all these processes very bureaucratic, or there is a phrase that India is a country of networks?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
do you find these processes very bureaucratic?
It is in a way. Again, as I said, like it's all about taxpayers' money. So government is very careful in spending it. Again, we can't. There should be some risk capital. You need to take some risks from the government perspective as well.
Yeah,
कि
right.
like if you can't always कि like tell me the budget where कुछ innovation ऐसा चीज़ होता है कि like आप कभी explain नहीं कर सकते हो कहाँ से inspiration आ सकता है और फिर कैसे आप बना सकते हो. उस uncertainty को government as a system itself is hates uncertainty. है ना?
Yeah, right. So I have interacted with a lot of stakeholders, and I think earlier there was nothing, but now at least we have some funds. All you
Yeah.
need is they reach to the right people.
Yes,
So
and they reach at a right time.
right time. That is also very
Yeah.
important.
So we have been through grants, we have been through a lot of grant agreements and everything. Primary reason why things move slow is a lot of people are involved. There is no one decision maker who is courageous enough to take a risk. There are some places where you need to take a risk. Somehow the person involved in it or people involved in it are not willing to take that risk. That is because again maybe from the government perspective or anything, if you just make sure that these people who are executing these policies are courageous enough to take some risks. Because as a country, we entrepreneurs, we are taking anyway our own life and job, everything we are putting at risk to do it. But from government perspective also, you need to take some risks in failures. Like you need to, okay, take this money, build it. If it doesn't work, it's okay.
Yeah, right. And I think problem with India is DeepTech fund is not very available. So
Yeah.
government is initially putting those seeds, and it
Yes.
needs to be done. It happened in other countries too.
Yes.
So I think that is very much needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to risk a lot
Yeah.
because we are the developing countries.
Right. And what about the private ecosystem? How they are responding to you guys in terms of funding that whole VC ecosystem or private capital?
I feel it has been a trend right now, like every other trends has been, because 2021 when I raised VC funding, I told you my story as well. They wanted a customer, and customer only cared about a use case.
They
not
value
a-
market before technology.
Yes, they value mostly consumerism basically. They're like deep tech funds today are coming up, yes, but they're not valuing the startups which have spent already 5 to 10 years in this
So
domain.
like the kind of startups that they are investing are mostly around AI or applications like
Yes,
that.
yes,
Okay.
AI and applications, and majorly bio or hardware needs ecosystem to build. Like we taught vendors how to make drones with 3D printing. Like we use 3D printing to make drones. We taught HP, who is the biggest 3D printer, on how to make drones, and then we made our own drone from them.
Right.
So that ecosystem enablement, कुछ कंपनीज है जो उस ecosystem में invest करना चाहता है, but VCs are not interested in investing in ecosystem.
So
They're only interested in a company. Like for suppose you see everything is right, a company comes then and says okay, we make things, then a VC invests.
So are you struggling right now with financials or in any other terms?
Not right now, but we had struggled to raise funds, yes. but we have seen enough funds now who are like kind of aware of what goes into deep tech. And I think last 3-4 years the transformation has happened, especially from chat gpt and AI
Right.
technologies. They showed that like chat gpt took 15 years to make a product, and then now it's killing in billions of
Yeah, I
revenue.
think in talking about this hardware and defense application startups, I think Operation Sindoor created a next wave of
Yeah,
deep tech
yeah,
startups coming out of India.
yeah,
Now
yeah.
people are actually seeing okay how the warfare is changing.
Yes,
So I think that happened with Operation Sindoor.
yes.
So okay, coming back to ki your thing. So ki we need to educate the people too. So if we
Yeah.
can talk about your core product, so
Hmm.
ki so first tell me what is the hardest part about building a whole this ecosystem in drone, like autonomy, building a drone itself or building
Yeah.
FC. So what is the hardest part, and then we will talk about the products that you are building.
I feel like convincing right team to work with us was very difficult
Okay,
task.
so gathering a right team is the
Difficult part, very
okay.
difficult part, because when you're working on state of the art technologies, you need people who are already worked on them. But if you take somebody who is fresher, you need to train them as well.
And after training they will move
There is a
to
chance of moving, or
other companies
yeah,
for different incentives.
yes.
Okay.
So like I am from IIT Delhi. I have seen there is just like, because of you are from IIT graduate, you are expected of some placement or some package despite your skills or anything.
Hmm.
What we were building was completely new, even new for us as founders. We need to learn and we need to develop. So me and Rajeshri, both of were very much involved in technical program starting May. We were the one who were building tech. We were teaching people who joined. Like we hired from IITs. Still, they are not sure how they can build. We have to write our own tools. For suppose, for making a drone, we have made, for one drone to successfully fly, we have made almost 10 टूल्स अराउंड इट. लाइक फॉर सपोज एक एग्जाम्पल मैं ऐसा दे सकता हूँ कि आपके पास स्क्रू है,
Hmm.
स्क्रू को प्रोडक्ट में लगाना है, बट आपके पास स्क्रू ड्राइवर नहीं है, तो आपको स्क्रू ड्राइवर बनाना पड़ेगा पहले.
Right.
तो आपने वो स्क्रू ड्राइवर बनाने के बाद स्क्रू को फिट करो, फिर उसके बाद आप एक और टूल के पास जाओ जो इससे भी बेहतर काम कर सकता है. लाइक हमारे ड्रोन में कैमरास लगाना है, कैमरास को लगाने के लिए वी नीड टू मेक ए सेपरेट फिक्सचर जो प्रिसाइजली लगा सकता है. अगर वो नहीं लगाया तो वो कैलिब्रेशन खराब होगा और फिर एआई को डेटा नहीं आएगा. तो ऐसा बहुत सारे टूल्स उसके अराउंड बनाना पड़ा हमको, जस्ट टू मेक श्योर दैट वही एक प्रोडक्ट सक्सेसफुली बन पाएगा.
Right.
और उसके लिए टैलेंट हायरिंग वाज आल्सो वेरी मच डिफिकल्ट part, and I think talent can be solved if you pump in more money. But again, no matter you hire people, the best of the best are leaving the country anyway.
Okay.
There is huge brain drain. Like IIT say graduate, okay, if you are best in IIT, you are anyway leaving the country, that's for sure.
So I thought this trend is changing. So talking about your batchmates, still like many are going outside.
Still are going outside.
Okay. I know. I thought it's changing.
It's changing in a smaller, not so faster way, I can say.
But definitely rate is declining. Like
That is declining.
earlier, people used to go like in
Yeah.
large numbers. Now that
Yes.
number has reduced a lot. People are coming back to India to build
Yeah,
stuff. So
yeah.
that is also the
That
thing
is
that
also
we are
there.
seeing. So coming back to your products, so the kind of drones that you are building, if you can talk about them and their applications.
So we have built Athera, which is
Okay.
for outdoor applications.
Okay.
It can cover 5 kilometers with one single charge, up and down, 5 kilometer of radius, anywhere it can fly.
Okay.
So it can fly at a speed of around 30 meters per second high speed. And it has a camera payload of 30x zoom and optics that can scan a number plate from 2 kilometers distance.
Okay.
So highest resolution possible. It also comes with our docking station, which can be installed anywhere and can be launched. And we
So
have,
you have already built docking stations?
yes, we have built docking
Okay.
stations. And we have Jasper, which is for indoor applications, for buildings, warehouses, construction sites, any applications where you need to have the drone go inside, collect data and come back. We also built a docking station for Jasper, and we have deployed it live in warehouses Right now warehouses are using these products to do inventory counting and everything.
So Athera is for outdoors and Jasper is for indoors mostly.
Yeah.
So tell me more about the applications, like what problems these are designed to solve, and how actually these are solving problems in real world. I think you have deployed these in some industries and at some places.
So for Jasper, we have deployed it in warehouses.
Okay.
So every day Jasper flies in the morning, collects all the data in the warehouse. Basically, data in the sense photos of them, photos of the warehouse, and from the photos we derive from day 1 to day 10 where the box has moved inside the warehouse. So warehouse में बहुत सारे boxes होते हैं और फिर उसका पता नहीं होता है कि like कौन सा box कब आया और फिर कहाँ पे
बड़े
रखा है. बड़े warehouse
Okay.
like around 1 lakh square feet, 2 lakh square feet. Like Jasper can cover 50,000 square feet in one day. So we can, for 1 lakh square feet, we need 2 Jaspers, 2 docking stations.
So this is going to change the economics of warehouses.
Okay. Like in warehouses, आपको usually per month if you transact a volume of 60 CR, even 1% change in the volume is around 60 lakhs or 2% is 1.2 crores. And आज का norm है around 5%. So with Jasper, we are able to reduce it to 0.5%, around 30 lakhs.
Okay.
So this kind of efficiency is possible through AI and drones.
And what kind of efficiency you can expect in future if it runs on its full potential?
I think we can almost make it zero. So we can just track in and out very precisely कि like आपको चोरी होने का, misplace होने का और फिर like biggest problem for warehouses is this only, misplacement of goods. आपके पास माल पड़ा हुआ है but पता नहीं कहाँ पे. तो आपको ढूंढने के लिए
and you need that constant monitoring
yeah
and surveillance, okay, कि everything is working like fine.
Yeah.
Like so great. And talking about, okay, so please continue.
Yeah, and about Athera, we are working with police on drone as a first responder use cases. Like we put these docking stations on
Police is using Athera?
We are doing trials as of now. We are not completely deployed, but we are doing trials on integrating with their system. You give a location, drone flies, zooms into that junction, takes a picture or video and sends it back to control station.
Right.
So say they get the traffic intelligence and they can save a lot of time.
So I have one question, like since you are building many components too, so can you also like sell these things to other drone companies and be like a layer, like a layer in between all the companies? A fundamental layer, if you can sell your tech and other components. So is there is it in plans?
I feel that is a natural tangent for us. However, right now the drone as a concept is very new and autonomous drones is still very newer in its own.
Right.
For somebody to buy and like kind of deploy, we need to establish that entire standard of operating procedure. So अभी के लिए हम खुद कर रहे हैं सब, but I feel like going forward we will give it out to a company which is very good at doing just hardware, while we can build software and rely upon them.
So please continue.
Yeah. So initially, just as I said, like we have to control entire hardware stack to make product first. But अगर आप bulk में करना चाहते हो, like let's say 1 lakh drones per month or like 10,000 drones per month, then you have other companies who are really good at doing such numbers. So we can actually partner with them or give them or maybe do a revenue sharing or some model. Right now I am not clear of that. I can basically use their leverage resources as leverage to maximize this technology to a scale, because software scaling is very easy. Like आप copy paste कर दो बस software को, but अगर hardware को करना है, you need to have facilities, testing procedures, all these things you need to have. But if you at our stage or our core thesis is to build cutting edge technology, and we can't just focus on those operations.
So you are building all the components and hardware in India. Like I just want to know ki is any percentage or any component that is being imported from outside?
No, for now we work with mostly Indian vendors only.
Okay.
And we work with a lot of friendly countries for India. Ultimately, some of the components like batteries are now like the actual batteries cells, we procure from a company in Chennai. They eventually procure from China or Taiwan or some other non-friendly countries. Um, so we have strict policy to like kind of see cost versus customer versus um, cost versus customer versus country basically. Like if customer is defense, we have strict policy on complete indigenous or
Right.
friendly countries policy. Cost can be anything for them, but for enterprise customers where cost is so much like very big factor for them, and they are okay with country or anything issue. Right now we are not importing any drones, so we are doing everything in house. But when it comes to motors or batteries for enterprise clients, we kind of import motors.
So, is there any chance of any kind of data breach or anything like, if you are importing any stuff, like, be it any stuff? So, is there any chance? Although we are working with friendly countries, but is there any chance?
No, because we are making our own flight controller. There is no chance of data leakage from anywhere. Like our drone controller has a chip on it which encrypts all the data that is going on the drone. So even if they get handhold of the flight controller, they can't do anything because it's all encrypted on the board. Even us as company, we have no access to the data.
How do you see, like, Vecros in future as a drone company, as an AI company, a robotics company, or autonomous platform company? How do you want this to evolve in down the line, like, next 5-10 years?
Okay. So our vision is, Ankit, like we have seen drones first as toys, right? We have seen small helicopters and everything.
Something flying in the air with the camera.
With a camera. Then they became tools. Right now they are tools to carry payload. They carry cameras. They survey our cities and everything. I feel drones are going to be infrastructure going forward. Like we have cell phone towers, we have dams, we have bridges. These are all infrastructure. I feel going forward, drones are going to be very big part of infrastructure for us. Defense infrastructure, enterprise infrastructure. I don't. I won't be surprised if there is a ministry just dedicated for drones as well. So
Okay.
this is going to be very big. It was just technology that was limiting before. Now you have seen wars, you have seen cities using drones. So in that future, we want to be part of that infrastructure future where we want to power that entire infrastructure. We want to build fundamental tools, softwares, hardware, technology that powers that vision. So you can say like NVIDIA of drones, you can say. That's what our future is. So you want to be like ARM or NVIDIA of drones where we're making fundamental chips, flight controllers, or the technology that makes drones autonomous.
Right. Okay, cool. That is a very great vision, and I really wish best, guys. Like, I hope you achieve this for
Thank
the
you.
country and as a company.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, and thank you so much for your time, and got to learn a lot of things.
Thank you.
So, thank you for this.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.